Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to try and explain and address a situation that I see very frequently, and that's the issue of having a round logo that someone's trying to engrave on a tumbler, and it turns out looking oval, and they don't understand why it does that and how to fix it. So I'm going to do my best to explain it to you and show you a couple solutions. So I'm going to get into Lightburn. I've got some drawings there, and we'll just go on from that point. All right. So what I have here on the screen is I have two circles. One's 100 millimeter diameter, and the other's 75 millimeter diameter, which are roughly the size of a 40-ounce tumbler and a skinny 20. Or in the case of the picture I'm going to be using, it's a skinny can cooler. And so if you look at that, 100 millimeter diameter is a 314 millimeter circumference, and I'm rounding numbers here for ease. It's actually 314.159, you know. But anyway, I digress. And same with a 75 millimeter diameter is a 235 millimeter circumference. What I'm working with is I have a sticker of my logo, which is 84 millimeters across. It's a perfectly round logo, 84 millimeters. And if you look at it, I'm going to bring it picture in here. See, here it is just taped onto that 40-ounce tumbler, and you can see it's got a little bit of squeeze, but we know it's round. So why is it showing up like that? Well, let's go back and look at the other one. Here's the skinnier one, and it's really squished. You know, it looks super tall but super narrow. So why does it look like that? Well, in simple terms, it is an optical illusion. So right now I'm going to turn on the red layer, and I've taken an 84 millimeter line, wrapped it around a tumbler on both same. So it's the exact same line here, 84 millimeters, wrapped around. But you can see how much further this one wraps around towards the back than this one here because of the different diameter of the tumblers. This is actually taking up 27%. So 84 millimeters is 27% of our 314 millimeter circumference. But the same 84 millimeters is 36% of the 235 millimeter. So that's why it wraps around further and looks more squished, because it's a smaller diameter. So you have the same amount that you're taking and you're wrapping it around, and it's actually squishing it more. So if we look across, you know, looking straight on from side to side of our 84 millimeters, on the larger tumbler, we have a line of 74.5 millimeters. That's what this distance is across here. Where on the smaller tumbler with the same 84 millimeters, it's only 67.5 millimeters across. That's a pretty significant difference. So what my suggestion is first off, try and limit your logos to about 25% of your circumference. You know, here we're at 27%, which is not so bad. It could be a little bit smaller, but it still looks good. I mean, like you saw on the other tumbler. Let me bring it back in again. As you see it, you know, it's just a little bit squished, but not crazy. You know, you still have a nice frontal view of the entire logo. Where on the smaller one, it is definitely wrapped around, and you actually start losing some visuals on the edges here. Just looking straight onto it. It just doesn't look quite as good. So like I say, if you stick to around 25% of the circumference, then what you can do, and in my situation, I'm recommending that you reduce the height rather than stretch the width. Because if you stretch the width, that's going to start wrapping around more, and it just gets worse and worse. So if we reduce the height of this 84 millimeters by 10%, we end up with a height of 75.6. And we know that going across is 74.5, which that's pretty close to round. I mean, you're not going to get it. Well, I guess there's ways to get it exactly, but it doesn't matter. I mean, because if you're not looking at it perfectly straight on, you know, the tumbler turns or whatever, you just want it to get to where it looks mostly round. And a round logo shows up more than a square logo for some reason. I don't know why. Just because I guess you can pick out an oval better than you can pick out just the distances going across it. So now if we come over to the smaller one, if we limit, we'll do another one, and limit it to 25%. So 25% of our 235 millimeter circumference is 58 millimeters. So if we keep it to 58 millimeter, this line here, that's the 58 millimeter logo going across, we have 53 millimeters straight on. So if we take 10% off our 53 millimeter, take 10% off our 58 millimeter, take 10% off the height, leaving the width the same, we end up with 52.2 millimeters, which is almost 53, and there again we're back to an almost round logo. And here's one more quick example. I've drawn out a 200 millimeter diameter circle, and which is 628 millimeter circumference, and using our same 84 millimeter line for our round logo, you'll see that going across on that large of a circumference is 83 millimeters wide, and we're dealing with an 84 millimeter tall or 84 millimeter round logo, so that's close enough. I wouldn't even change that at all. And now that's only 13% of the circumference. What it comes down to is the smaller percentage of the circumference, the closer to round the logo is going to appear. I know this is can be a difficult concept to get a grasp on. That's why I hope showing the visuals with a known round sticker and showing how it wrapped around the two different tumblers, and showing also in Lightburn just how the different pie sections correlate to different diameters. I hope this helps you understand how to fix a round logo to make it look at least close to round again. You know, if you limit it to about no more than 25% of the diameter, or I'm sorry, 25% of the circumference of your tumbler, and then reduce the height by roughly 10%, it will look pretty close to round, and you'll be much happier with your results rather than leaving it round and saying, oh, it's egg-shaped, it's oval-shaped. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Hope you found this useful. Give the channel a like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.